Berner+becker Office Hours, der Revenue Management Podcast.
Welcome everyone for a brief introductory session to berner+becker's collaboration with PriceMyHotelRoom, a revenue management system provider based in the Nordics. And as we all know, in today's fast-moving hotel market, data is of utmost power. But it's only obviously as valuable as the decisions that it drives. And that's why we've teamed up with PriceMyHotelRoom to deliver a powerful combination of AI-driven pricing and hands-on strategy to you, our dearest clients. I'm having with me today Christina Jonsson from PriceMyHotelRoom. And Christina, you might want to give us a little bit of an introduction to what PriceMyHotelRoom actually is. Welcome.
My name is Christina, and obviously I'm from PriceMyHotelRoom. And we are a revenue management system, and it's designed by hospitality experts for hoteliers. And we are started 10 years ago, celebrating this in November, located in Sweden. And today we have about 220 hotels that we steer the pricing for. For us, our focus is to be in the local market, and that must mean in Sweden, but plus minus 2 hours from the market we are in. And the reason why we have decided this is because we want to know the market we operate in. We want to be close to our customers, to be able to support them both technically and strategically in their pricing optimization. And also with PriceMyHotelRoom, we don't create any specific nice to have gimmicks. All the features we have, they are designed for a purpose in order to help the hotelier with real hotel needs every day.
Perfect. Then let's jump straight into the topic. First question would be, what makes your system unique in that sense? And maybe you also want to touch on some of the key functionalities that PriceMyHotelRoom actually delivers.
Well, what we do is that we ensure that each hotel have the correct pricing in the market every day, 365 days ahead. Of course, you can send prices out further out in the future if you want to. But the main focus we do is that we provide market insights. We automate time-consuming manual pricing tasks, and we help the hotels stay competitive. While we do that, the hoteliers can focus on the guest experience, and we do the tedious work in the background.
And that's great. That's great. And I think that's also one of the reasons why we've obviously been choosing you as a preferred partner of ours. I think we came to value very much the flexibility that you offer, also the reliability of the system. Same as obviously the strong performance uplifts that we've seen in our testing that we did last year. And it's probably not enough to just say performance uplifts, but it's also the sustainable results that we've seen with your system and operation that have basically been convincing us. And next to the great support that you obviously provide, not only in the onboarding phase, but also in the deployment phase, I think it's a very good fit. Now, Christina, what does that actually mean for our hotels if, hotels would obviously be choosing you, for example, as a revenue management system provider in conjunction with us as consultants? Like, how does the system integrate into a hotel's existing tech stack?
Well, we integrate to most of the big PMSs and channel managers. For us, we have an open API. And for us, it's very important that the PMSs that we most of the time integrate to and collect data from, that the data is correct. It's not only about connecting to a PMS and you have an open API, but it's important to know that the data you can collect is correct and you can use it. And also, on the other hand, that we are able to send the data we want back to the PMS. And this needs to work seamlessly and without any delay. So the detailed reservation data we collect from the PMS, and this we use both for the algorithm, but also for accurate reporting.
Yeah. tell us a little bit more about the algorithm, and then obviously touching base again on the question that I asked with some of the key functionalities. That would be just.
The algorithm, we use market data, demand data for the algorithm, or we use your own reservation or your historical reservations in order to calculate demand for every day, 1 year ahead. This data we combine with your booking pattern, so we can see from when your first reservation comes in during different kind of market situations, and then we can calculate the booking curve and how it's going to look from day one until day of arrival. And when we have this data, we then on top add the competitor data, so we can see what your competitors are doing, how they are behaving in different markets, and then we build like relations to the competitors, ensuring that you are placed exactly where you want to be in the market with the most profitable rate every single day.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not only about pricing, obviously, what we can do within the system. It's also about group quotations, right? It's also about doing some sort of displacement analysis. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more around that.
Yeah, we have a group displacement module that basically helps you if you have a group inquiry. You enter the data into this feature, and then the system can calculate if you have a displacement by taking in this group. It will tell you what price you should give this group with or without a discount. You can also, if you have, for example, a corporate group, you can actually enter the rate of the corporate group into the displacement tool, and then the system will tell you if this is a good deal or not. So it's always about assisting the hotelier in taking the right decision. We kind of lead you on the way, and then it's up to you to decide what you want to do. And I think this is really, really important, because we believe in AI and IQ, that AI can, to a great extent, help you with performance and reason. But at the end of the day, today still, you need the human knowledge and input into every business. So we allowed it to work together. So you're always allowed to put your own thought into the system without destroying the algorithm or the price suggestion.
And that's a great point. And I think this is also the point where we come in then from our berner+becker side of things. Because as with any system, right, it's never just plug and play. It's probably a dream scenario, but it's usually not the case. But obviously, we are still here for interpreting data. We're here for fine-tuning strategies and adapt it to the market dynamics. And as within our collaboration, we're also going to be ensuring that we're adopting the system correctly together with you in the very onboarding stage. And then obviously, we're also going to be doing ongoing performance checks and customization of the tool. And that's obviously always in collaboration with you guys. Now, what would you say, like, which type of hotels is PriceMyHotelRoom specifically designed for?
It's a good question, because I think there's many different answers to it. Mainly independent hotels and smaller chains that want to have professional revenue management assistant, but doesn't want to integrate into a complex enterprise level system. Often we enter where hotels, they don't have a revenue manager, or they have a revenue manager that is part of another role, which often leaves a lot of money on the table, because revenue management doesn't shout out and say, hey, I'm here, I need help, but the customer does. So these hoteliers feel that they need to take control of the pricing and also get better insight. So that's where we normally enter, or together with consultancy firms like your berner+becker, to help with efficiency and accuracy and more in-depth market insights, I would say. A little thing that is special with PriceMyHotelRoom is that for us, we adapt the system to your business. It's not the other way around. So it's We don't provide a one-size-fits-all system, but we build a system around your business goals and your operation. And in that way, I think the system fits anyone. I mean, we have customers that have more than 400 bedrooms in a major city center, up to 10 cabins in the Norwegian mountains. So any kind of business, I would say.
Okay, great. Now, I think one point of interest is also how, let's say, a typical onboarding journey looks like. And even though we're obviously going to be managing that together for our clients later on, but how does it actually look? Like, what is being needed? What is being done in an onboarding journey?
Well, when we start, you get a request form from us that you need to fill in with some basic data regarding your hotel, the room types, the competitors. And when we get that, we start to build the system or the hotel in our system. We connect to the PMS. Depending on the PMS, it requires different kind of procedures. But then we retrieve the booking data from there and kind of almost build the whole environment before we together with you have a startup meeting where we go through room type supplements, your competitors, who is more important than or less important, and build some relations. And during these meetings, we ensure that the pricing suggestions are something that you are comfortable with or that you are happy with, I would say. Because the system, we build it together and fine tune it together. And for us, it's really important that the suggestions that come out is something that you feel, well, this is good. I feel comfortable with this. Because if you don't, you will not use the system. It doesn't matter if I have a different opinion about your pricing strategy, because end of the day, it's your guys who's going to use it.
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean,
yes, yeah.
Transparency is one thing that is obviously super important, not only for our clients at the end of the day, but also for us as being the revenue managers. We need to somehow understand like how pricing decisions are being made up of. And only with that, obviously, we're gaining the trust in the system. Now, there's always an element of, human decision bias and us thinking and do it better. But at the end of the day, like the real trust when transparency and obviously flexibility within the system and the decisions that are being made via the system are actually openly available. And we feel have a chance together with you guys to actually see that. And now, when it comes to our partnership, obviously, just a little bit from a philosophy perspective, but we're making this partnership for the best of our clients at the end of the day. And so we're also in for a long-term thing, right? Which is driven by transparency and flexibility, as we just said, but also by continuous innovation. So the understanding that I have is obviously to, work on the system also together. If we're having requests out of our client space in terms of further development wishes, that's something that we can also run by you and elaborate around. And I think also what we've been finding is we've been receiving a very good offer also from your side from a financial perspective, which obviously also plays a very huge role in showing a good return on investment at the end of the day. Now, having said that, what are usually results that hotels can expect if they deploy PriceMyHotelRoom? Maybe you have a quick glimpse into that.
I think first of all, a partnership should be beneficial for both sides, and that is important to us. The results, it depends a little bit if you come from nowhere into, or from having a system or having a consultant already steering your revenue tasks. But on average, we see an increase in RevPAR by 11%. And also, of course, taking away a lot of manual work, saving a lot of time. And time is also money, as we normally say. But again, it depends on if you never worked with pricing. the increase will be more. I mean, we had a customer that increased their occupancy by 40% after a few months because they had been overpricing for years, lacking insight in the market. But when we implement the PriceMyHotelRoom, it became really clear to them. They say, "Oh, we are like 30 euros more expensive than a competitor that is much better than us. This is not the way to work." And together we aligned the system. And I think it was around 27% RevPAR increase after a few months.
Wow.
So depends from case to case. Yeah, it was fantastic to see the results together with the client. And I think that is also something that that is important to us, is that when we set the system up, everybody in PriceMyHotelRoom that does the setup, we have a revenue management background. We have been doing revenue management in hotels for years. So we like to also help when we set the system up to get the most out of the situation. So we're there to give strategic help as well.
Exactly. Together with our expertise, I think it's a very good match. So thank you very much, Christina, and to all the hoteliers listening to this video and looking at it. So if you're wondering whether you're really making the most out of pricing opportunities that are there in the hotels, then let's simply talk. So please contact me for deeper talk and an offer for PriceMyHotelRoom in conjunction with us at berner+becker. And I think now it's time to simply combine powerful technology with sharp thinking, and let's make this a reality. Thank you very much.
Berner+becker Office Hours, der Revenue Management Podcast.